Welcome to the deep dive. So, today our mission really is to unpack this pretty profound perspective on healing.
Right. Focusing in on what that really means according to one specific source.
Exactly. And it all comes from just one source, actually, excerpts from a sermon simply titled Heal.
A single source, but sounds like there's a lot in there.
Oh, definitely. We're not just, summarizing. We really want to pull out the key insights.
On what genuine healing involves. Its different types.
Yeah, it's different shapes, it's forms, and also these powerful beliefs about how and maybe if we can access it.
It's a topic that hits home for almost everyone, I think. We all face brokenness, right? Pain.
For sure. Whether it's obvious stuff or things hidden away, and that big question always comes up, will I ever be whole again?
Mm-hmm. And this sermon tackles that head on. It makes this really bold promise, basically saying you can be healed.
And not just like patched up temporarily.
Exactly. Not just fixed, but restored, renewed, made whole. That's the language it uses. Real restoration.
That's a powerful promise. Okay, so where does it start? How does it frame this?
Well, it begins by grounding us in reality. It talks about living in a broken world.
Okay.
A world full of, and these are its words, wounded hearts, weary souls, and tired bodies.
So it acknowledges the scope of it all, the physical pain, emotional stuff.
Yeah, all of it. Physical aches, emotional scars, feeling abandoned, betrayed, forgotten. Even like dreams that died or relationships that shattered.
It paints a pretty comprehensive picture of human suffering.
It does. But, and this is key, it doesn't just leave us there. It pivots pretty quickly.
To what?
To this core idea. God sees the broken places.
Ah, okay, so it's not just happening in a vacuum.
Exactly. The point is that the pain, the tears, those hidden wounds, they aren't ignored. They're seen. It even brings in Psalm 147.3. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. The sermon argues God knows it all, the trauma, the loss, the diagnosis.
The things maybe no one else sees.
Precisely. The things others overlook. And the logic it presents is sort of because he sees, he cares.
And because he cares.
He heals. That's the connection it makes. Divine sight leads to divine care, leads to divine healing.
That's an interesting okay, so then what about the healing itself? What does it look like? Is it always like a thunderclap moment?
That's a really important point the sermon addresses. It acknowledges God can do the instant thing. Zap.
Right, like the example it gives of Jesus healing Peter's mother-in-law in Matthew's gospel. Touch her hand, fever gone.
Exactly. That kind of immediacy. God can do that. But the sermon is very clear. Healing may not be instant, but it is assured with God.
Okay, so assurance, but maybe not speed. That manages expectations a bit.
It does, and it offers this really beautiful image for the gradual kind of healing.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes healing comes like the rising of the sun, slowly, steadily, and surely.
That's a nice way to put it. Slow, steady, sure.
Yeah. And to help us navigate that waiting period brings up this idea of a waiting room.
A waiting room, like spiritually speaking.
Kind of. It draws from Isaiah 40.3:1. But they that wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength.
Okay, waiting leads to renewal.
Right. And the sermon clarifies that renew here means more than just getting energy back. It means to bring back what was lost, restore vitality, to heal.
So the waiting isn't empty. It has a purpose.
That's the message. If you feel like you're in that waiting room, you're not being ignored, you're being prepared.
Prepared for that renewal.
Exactly. So the advice is clear. Don't give up during the process.
That's powerful. Reframing the wait. Okay, so waiting is part of it sometimes. What else is involved in accessing this healing?
Well, a major theme is faith. The sermon really emphasizes this, declaring Jesus is still the great physician.
A great physician, okay.
And then it dives deep into a specific story to illustrate this. The woman with the issue of blood from Mark's gospel.
Ah, yes. A really famous one. 12 years of suffering.
12 years. And the sermon highlights her situation. Doctors couldn't help. She'd spent all her money. People had likely given up on her. Just a desperate place.
Totally. So what's the sermon's main takeaway from her story?
The turning point. What changed everything for her? The text says she heard about Jesus.
Just hearing about him sparked something.
It sparked belief, a very specific belief. If I can just touch the hem of his garment, I will be healed. It wasn't vague hope. It was conviction focused on an action.
And she pushes through the crowd to do it.
She does. And the moment she touches his cloak, the bleeding stops. Instantly.
Oh.
And Jesus feels the power go out, finds her, and says, Daughter, your faith has made you well.
So the sermon emphasizes her faith as the key, her reaching out.
Absolutely. It uses her story to encourage us, to reach for Jesus, even when we feel weak or doubtful or just worn out.
The idea being,
That when you touch Jesus with faith, healing flows. That act of reaching, fueled by belief, is crucial.
okay, but is this healing only about physical things like bleeding or fevers?
No, definitely not. And that's a really critical point the sermon makes later on. It states very clearly, healing is more than physical.
Right, because sometimes the worst stuff isn't visible.
Exactly. It points out that some of the deepest wounds are internal. Spiritual wounds, emotional pain, relationship breakdowns.
The hidden things we talked about earlier.
hmm And the argument is that God isn't just interested in, surface-level fixes. He doesn't just treat symptoms. He cures the root.
Cures the root.
It references Psalm 23, He restores my soul. That speaks to something much deeper than just physical health. It's about inner restoration.
So what kinds of inner healing does it talk about specifically?
It gets quite specific, actually. It mentions healing for anxiety, lifting depression, mending broken hearts.
Things many, many people struggle with.
Absolutely. Quieting tormented minds, giving that peace that passes understanding. It even addresses the fact that sometimes you don't even know what's broken inside you.
Right, you just feel off or stuck.
Yeah. And the assurance given is, well, God does know, and He specializes in inner healing.
He specializes in it? That's quite a statement. That healing is available even for the things we can't name.
It's a very hopeful message for those kinds of struggles. And then it takes another interesting turn.
Yeah.
It talks about the impact of your healing on others.
How so?
The idea is your healing will help someone else. It's not just for you.
So it becomes something outward-facing.
Exactly. Your personal healing journey is framed as a testimony, a ministry even. It's presented as proof that God still performs miracles.
Proof, so my getting better can actually encourage someone else.
That's the core idea. It connects this to Revelation 12:11. They overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. Your story, your experience of healing becomes powerful.
So if you've been healed, you shouldn't keep it quiet.
The sermon urges exactly that. Tell somebody, encourage someone. Let them know that if God did it for you, He can do it for them too.
Creating like a ripple effect.
Precisely. A ripple effect of hope and possibility based on real experience.
Okay, this is building towards a really comprehensive view. What's the final overarching message then?
It culminates in this powerful declaration, there is still hope.
Despite everything we might see or feel.
Yes. It strongly reiterates, God is not finished with you, you are not forgotten, and this healing, it's not just possible, it's promised.
Promised. That's a strong word. Based on what?
It loops back to Scripture, specifically Jeremiah 30:17. I will restore you to health and heal your wounds, declares the Lord. Restoration and healing declared by God.
And does it define the scope of that promise?
Oh, absolutely. It makes these broad declarations saying healing is for you in your mind, in your body, in your heart, in your faith, in your family, in your finances, in your purpose.
Wow, that covers pretty much every area of life. Mind, body, heart, faith, family, finances, purpose. That's incredibly holistic.
It really is.
Yeah.
And it links this present promise to God's past actions. Opening blind eyes, raising the dead, calming storms. The message is, the same God who did that is still moving today.
So it's a call to believe that now.
Yes. Let faith rise, let hope return, let your soul rest in that possibility. It's about understanding that God's healing isn't just, recovery. It's not just getting back to baseline.
It's restoration, like it said at the start.
Exactly. True restoration.
Yeah.
And the final assurance is aimed directly at the listener, at you. You are not too far gone. You are not too broken. And you are not alone.
Powerful words.
And it concludes with the simplest, yet perhaps hardest, instruction. Just believe, just reach, just trust, and be healed.
Just believe, reach, trust. Wow. Okay, that's a lot to absorb from one sermon. We've gone from acknowledging the world's brokenness to God seeing it, to healing being both instant and a process.
It's the crucial role of faith, like the woman reaching out.
Then expanding healing beyond the physical to our inner lives, our souls.
And finally seeing our own healing as a testimony that can help others, all under this umbrella promise of complete restoration.
Yeah, it really presents healing not just as fixing a problem, but as this profound journey back to wholeness across, everything.
That's a compelling vision for sure. Restoration, not just recovery.
So maybe the thought to leave everyone with is this. given this whole perspective that healing isn't just a maybe, but a promise touching every part of life, the physical, emotional, relational, even financial and spiritual,
Hmm.
how might your approach to your own challenges, or even how you support the people around you, how might that change if you really leaned into that belief in the possibility, the promise of complete restoration?
That's definitely something to reflect on, how that changed things.